When I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 1986, the endocrinologist that my parents and I met with said, "Your child has a disease." And then a couple minutes later, I can't believe she said it the first day, "She may not be able to have children." Now, can you imagine being told as a mother that your daughter may not be able to bear children? That's a huge burden for a mom to carry. But me, at the time, I didn't know enough to care. I was only 6 or 7 years old. Okay, well, I wasn't thinking about having kids. I still was one. When people are telling you your life is going to be compromised, you almost want to poke them in the chest and say, "No, it's not. I'm going to be fine, and I'm going to show you the whole way how fine I'm going to be." Every prom dress that I wore to the different dances, it was like I always made sure that I didn't have little needle marks on my arms, or that you couldn't see where I was hiding my meter that day, or that sort of thing. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that I realized that being a mother was something that I really, really wanted to be. Long story short, I went through all of the motions to really get my diabetes under control. I met a wonderful man. We got married. We spent our first year as newlyweds, and then we spent our second year pregnant. The beginning of the pregnancy was very difficult because low blood sugars were a huge part of what happened every day. As my weight and the baby got bigger, everything was tougher to manage. But the end result was this perfect child. I started my diabetes blog in May of 2005, so this was way back in the dark ages of social media. The reason that I started it was because I went online and I put into Google diabetes. And the results that came back were so distressing. There was no story of someone having a baby with diabetes. There was no story of someone having a good life with diabetes. There wasn't even a story of someone having lunch with diabetes. For me, I was 25 at the time. That sounded ridiculous because I was dating, I was out of college, I was working, I was having a grand old time. I wanted other people to find a healthy young woman living with diabetes and having a good time. But the main core of what it's given to me is that I'm not alone. I'm part of a huge community of people just like me. And that does more for my emotional health than anything else I can think of. Diabetes really did play a huge role in my pregnancy because it dictated my hospitalization, dictated the way that my baby was delivered into this world, but it had absolutely no impact on her health and on my ability to care for her as a mother. So even though it was a long journey, the end result was just the same as everyone else's.